Hello, and welcome to the week of April 27th. And let me explain what you're doing because this is the week that you finish this personal narrative part. You know how it says the Odyssey and personal narrative? We're ending the personal narrative part. So by next Monday, we will be moving on from the Odyssey and personal narrative. And here's how. So basically, you are doing three things. We're going to take a look at one more moth story, my favorite one. We're going to take a look at one more story, not from the moth, but inspired by that same storytelling technique, just like the technique you've looked at in Pixar. And then your final thing, you are going to do your final summative thing for this project, which is recording your own story. So, these are the links for the moth, and these are the links for the Christmas doll story. So you're going to start here, and I will be sharing probably on the same slide this template with you. What you're going to do is, okay, I'll let that load. Oh, I'll let that, okay, cool. So what you're going to do is once you get to the moth, you're going to listen to this guy's story. And this guy's kind of cool. He's from a public high school in New York, and the moth has this contest for high schoolers where I don't really know what you win, but I think you win money. Anyway, he went, and I think he won. And this is his story from the moth that helped him win the contest. So it's called Victorious. You can see it here. You can listen to it here. It's 5 minutes long. I think it's a great story. And after you've listened to the moth, or even as you listen to the moth, it's still loading. You can see that I've made this template for you. Let's zoom in, shall we? So basically, I'm having you take a look at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And you're going to want to make a copy of this so that you can fill this in, but you're going to say, title of the story, Victorious, the author, I don't even remember what his name is, and then you're just going to take a look at the three essential parts of the story, the beginning, the middle, and the end. And you can fill in with the information as you listen to the moth. So that's the first thing you're doing this week, is thinking about the moth. Second thing you're doing this week is thinking about the second story that I linked. And this one is called Babies Buying Babies. And it's slightly longer, but it's a very interesting story to me because it shows what is wrong with America in a like, I don't know, you should listen to it. It's like a metaphor for what is wrong with us. So after you or as you listen to this story, you're going to make a duplicate of the template and complete the same information, taking a look at this story, the beginning, the middle, and the end. And those are the two stories. So those will be like our final things that we're looking at. So that means that you looked at Pixar, you looked at The Moth, and you looked at this thing from This American Life. So now you have thoroughly considered what it means to tell a story in a spoken way. And that will get us into you doing a spoken story in your own way. Everything is slow. I could try like closing my tabs or something. I don't know. Let's see if it goes back to the page I was on because that would be like so helpful. I'm gonna drink coffee. Oh, wow! It's frozen. It's cool. Anyway, I will start to explain how you do your recording. So you have many options for how you record yourself speaking, but the way that I record myself speaking is with this thing called Screencastify. You can see it in the corner. So if you want to do this like all on your computer because your computer has a better mic. Okay, thanks. Oh my god, it's so slow. It kills me. If your computer has a better mic, you can install Screencastify. It's really easy. I'll show you how if it lets me open a new tab. Let's see. All you do is type in Screencastify. It's the first thing that pops up if your computer is, functional. And then you download Screencastify, and then you just literally record yourself talking. You notice that I don't like to use the camera because I think that's awkward. And the assignment is that you don't use the camera. It's literally just your voice. I should be able to hear the animation in the story from your voice. So you can use Screencastify and add it and use it. Or you could use your phone. And that one would be slightly more complicated because then you would have to send that to yourself in order to send it to me. But if you already have your phone, you could use that to record yourself too. And the Storytelling 101 thing right here gives you like a final recommendation for how you do this, but basically, you want to just tell a story from your life in the same way as all the things you've been looking at. You want to tell a story like from Pixar, you want to tell a story like from The Moth, like from babies selling babies, like what this guy is talking about. Oh god, now it's frozen. Oh my god, kill me. Okay. So, you want to basically just tell a story and you want it to take roughly 5 minutes. So, for a lot of you, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I have a story about how I broke my arm. And then you'll tell it, and then you'll look at how long you recorded for, and it'll be like a minute long. You want it to be 5 minutes long. So, this is when you need to consider some of the techniques you've taken a look at over these weeks. So, you need to consider some of the techniques from Pixar. How do you build character? How do you describe setting? You want to consider some of the techniques that you examine in this template that doesn't load. Like, what is the beginning, what is the middle, and what is the end? You want to think about how you can add details and how you can add suspense, even when it's a boring story from your life. Like, I could tell you something boring that happened to me. I could be like, I went outside and I tripped and I landed on my face. That's dumb. But I could stretch it out for 5 minutes by telling you details and building the suspense. So, I'm done rambling. With this week, you are going to look at your final 2 source materials, look at some recommendations on how to tell a story, and then you're going to tell a story for 5 minutes. And that is your final thing. You don't even have to write it down, you just have to talk and send that recording to me. And then, with that, your personal narrative is over, and also me talking.